Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into XRP, and I have to kick things off with something absolutely mind-blowing from Paul Barron. He's saying that XRP is going to completely replace traditional finance in just the next few years. And here's why this makes total sense. Listen to this. XRP is the only asset out there without a counterparty. It's like the ultimate bridge asset that's quietly routing all trades behind the scenes. And get this. Every single new stablecoin and real-world asset that gets created, it automatically increases XRP usage. We're talking banks, blockchain apps, lending platforms, on-chain money movement. Everything is instant, with XRP sitting right at the center of it all. Now here's the crazy part that most people completely missed. Everyone thought stablecoins were going to be the XRP killer, right? Wrong. All these stablecoins are actually going to need a bridge to function properly. Same exact thing is going to happen with real-world assets. Think about it. When tokenization really starts heating up, and all that massive value gets spread across different networks and cryptocurrencies, how do you think they're going to move those assets from point A to point B? That's right. It all brings value back to what we're holding. All right, now let's talk about something huge that just happened. Swift's ISO 20022 migration is officially here. I'm seeing articles everywhere asking whether Ripple's XRP ledger or Stellar's network is going to dominate in this new payments era. So what exactly is ISO 20022? Let me break this down for you in simple terms. ISO 20022 standardizes how financial data gets exchanged around the world. Now, here's the key thing. It doesn't actually certify cryptocurrencies directly. But here's where it gets interesting. Ripple and Stellar, they're technically aligned with ISO standards, even though they're not officially certified. But here's the game changer. If a network is certified like Ripple and Stellar, they can actually include cryptocurrencies inside these ISO messages. So the cryptocurrency itself might not be what you'd call compliant, but it can still be used within the system. And this is where so many people get it wrong when they say there's no such thing as an ISO cryptocurrency. Since the networks they run on ARE ISO compliant, the cryptocurrencies can absolutely still be utilized. Now, I know what you're thinking, but we didn't see any massive price spike on day one, so maybe ISO isn't that big of a deal. Listen, I've been saying this from the beginning. We're going to see one of two things happen. Either we get a huge spike early on, or we see gradual upward movement with spikes here and there as more and more banks jump on board with ISO messaging. And trust me, at some point, crypto will be utilized within ISO systems. Breaking news. This just happened. CoinMarketCap just listed 16 ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies. And guess what's sitting at the very top? That's right, XRP. Let me show you this actual list. XRP is number 1, XLM Stellar is number 2, Hedera HBAR comes in at number 3, and the list goes on. Every single one of these coins, we've talked about them multiple times on this channel. The one I'm really curious about is Flare. It's not listed here, but I know Flare is going to be compliant. I see Internet Computer Protocol, ICP, on there, which was one I missed talking about a few times. Sologenic is also on the list. I think I mentioned it before, but I definitely knew it belonged here. The last 3 on the list? I honestly haven't talked about those much at all. But these are the cryptocurrencies that are being looked at as part of ISO, the ones that can be included within an ISO message when making a transaction. Why did CoinMarketCap decide to list these as ISO 20022 coins? Because they know there's real value in these cryptocurrencies. Here's something incredible from Smoke that just came out. The industry expects digital asset activity to accelerate soon after the ISO 20022 switch. And get this, observers are expecting attention to shift in early 2026, which is super close, towards experiments with tokenized securities, on-chain settlement models, and early central bank digital currency interoperability frameworks. What they're basically saying is that ISO's structured data model is viewed as a prerequisite. It's what's going to allow traditional institutions to finally interact with digital asset systems through standard fields and consistent formats. The bottom line. They're telling us that we will eventually see massive value come from this. The infrastructure is being built right now, and XRP is positioned perfectly at the center of it all. What do you think? Are you ready for what's coming? Let me know in the comments below. And here's where things get even more exciting. It looks like this acceleration is going to happen early next year. But wait, there's more. Swift also said something absolutely crucial that I need you to hear. According to Swift, banks must fully adopt ISO first before they can adopt blockchain. Yes, you heard that right. Blockchain is directly tied to the adoption of this new messaging standard. This completely destroys the false claim that ISO 20022 is unrelated to blockchain. So here's how Swift sees it playing out. The banking industry will first have to adopt ISO before it can even think about adopting blockchain for payments. And that's how banks are most likely going to start getting onboarded to blockchain technology. Now check this out. Look at everything that happened right when ISO went live. The FDIC suddenly got involved with insuring digital assets. Banks got the green light to get involved with digital assets just ahead of ISO going live. You think that's a coincidence? I don't. I think that was 100% planned and coordinated. But wait until you see this. This is the CEO of Bank of New York Mellon. We're talking about the oldest bank in America, the largest custody bank in the world with $53 trillion under management. They're one of the most widely used service providers in traditional finance. Hard to imagine a clearer sign that crypto is going mainstream.
Can you go into digital assets and sort of this trend toward tokenization and how that plays into the business model a bit?
Yeah, sure, Carl. It's a really important trend. It's one of the mega trends. We identified a series of mega trends about a year ago, and we said we want to position our business, invest in those capabilities that will allow us to benefit from those mega trends. Because while we want to drive and are driving organic growth, we also want to make sure that we're attaching ourselves to these big market cycles, and digital assets is one of them. Now, that's not just stable coins, it's also tokenization, and it really is across the ecosystem. So we've been investing around the ecosystem for using our traditional assets and then evolving our traditional business assets to be able to be on-chain as well.
They all want to come on-chain, one after another. We are literally going to watch banks get involved with tokenization step by step. First, they're going to dip their toes in with stablecoins, and then bam, all of a sudden, they're going to transition into cryptocurrencies. Why? Because stablecoins are the gateway drug to crypto. And honestly, I think that's exactly why Ripple launched RLUSD to begin with. All right, now let me hit you with something that's going to blow your mind. SBI has made things crystal clear. No sugarcoating here. The goal of their Evernorth fund isn't just to hold XRP, but to actively boost its asset value. This comes straight from their latest shareholder presentation, slides 7 to 158. You see it right there. They want to boost the price of XRP, and here's the kicker. They're not going to be selling off that XRP either. They're going to be long-term holders, locking it away for 10 years at a time. Here's what you need to understand. Institutions don't look at crypto the way we do as retail investors. I've told you this before. You need to look at crypto through the eyes of an institution. When institutions buy, they don't care what price they bought at. They don't care if the price goes up. If they need it, they gotta have it. Then they lock it away. And it's not like they're going to sell just because the price went up. They're actually going to USE this cryptocurrency for its real purpose, moving money and value all around the world. Now, here's something that caught everyone's attention. $400 million worth of XRP got offloaded in just 48 hours. XRP got hit by one of the most aggressive sell waves we've seen this year. On-chain data revealed that major whale wallets dumped nearly 200 million XRP, that's roughly $400 million worth, in just 48 hours. But here's what I keep thinking about now, that we know scarcity is coming for XRP because of the ETFs. We know that when we retail investors are selling, the whales usually swoop in and buy up our XRP. Soon it'll be institutions doing that. But what happens when the OG XRP holders start selling off their bags? I'm talking about whales that were loading up on XRP even before the 2017 to 2018 run. I think the ETF issuers are going to swallow up that XRP too. So when these whales think they're going to play the market like they always do, selling high and buying back lower, all of a sudden, that XRP is just going to disappear into institutional hands. We're going to reach that tipping point, and I genuinely think there's a real chance of that happening. What are your thoughts on this scenario? Drop them in the comment section below. But before we wrap up, there's one more thing you need to know about. The party's over, folks. Crypto's tax haven era is officially done. The IRS is launching major crackdowns, starting with 2025 filings. That's right, the IRS is officially closing the curtain on crypto's Wild West days, and it all starts with the 2025 filing year. So, what exactly is happening? The IRS is rolling out strict new reporting requirements aimed directly at what they're calling tax cheats in the digital asset space. At the center of this whole crackdown is a new form called 1099-DA, which crypto brokers must file to report sales, gains, and losses directly to the IRS. We're talking about centralized exchanges, some wallets, NFT marketplaces, and even DeFi platforms, depending on how these rules get interpreted. Now, here's how I look at this whole situation. We've always wanted crypto to have real value, right? Well, if it's not being taxed, it wouldn't actually have value. Otherwise, the IRS would never bother taxing it in the first place. You can look at this in a couple of different ways. Number one, yeah, I get it. Nobody likes the IRS, and the idea of more taxes isn't exactly exciting. But here's the thing. Even if you're not filing your taxes properly, it doesn't really matter anymore because the exchanges are going to be filing on your behalf. They're going to report the crypto you're holding. They're going to report if you made any transactions, if you traded one crypto for another, everything. But listen, this is all part of crypto getting that mass adoption we've been waiting for. First, you've got to get all the laws and regulations in place, and that includes tax laws too. Like I said earlier today, crypto is absolutely maturing, and as it matures, a lot of people aren't going to like the rules that come with it. But that's how you get to mass adoption. And with mass adoption, that's how you get wealthy, because you beat everybody else to this space. People that are getting in right now, they're still not too late, but the institutions are coming, and everything is getting put in place ahead of them. You are so close. Don't give up now. Let me show you something cool. The stages of a crypto trader. You've got dreamer, gambler, survivor, builder, and finally, operator. When you first get into crypto, you are definitely a dreamer. What's the first thought that goes through your head? I'm going to get rich in this space. For XRP investors that got in years ago, you had to be a true visionary. You had to see where this cryptocurrency could go in the future. Now, it doesn't take that vision anymore. You can see it happening in real time all around you. Then there's the gambler stage. Some people come into this space and gamble on meme coins because they think they're going to get that 1000x overnight, like they hear other people talking about. Sure, meme coins made some people rich over time, but let's be honest, most of them turned into rug pulls. Here's the thing though, once regulations are fully in place, most meme coins are going to disappear. I think Doge will still be around, Pepe might survive, and maybe a few others that gained real notoriety in this space. But you're not going to have the rug pulls like we've seen in the past. Next comes the survivor stage. These are the people who make it through the dips, who have real patience. They eventually become builders, someone who builds a solid portfolio, someone who understands that red days come and go, and they're usually followed by green days. Finally, there's the operator stage. That's where you've made it to financial freedom. You crossed the finish line. You became a legend in this space because you made it through all the other stages. Where do you think you are right now? Drop a comment and let me know. But I've always said this. If you're an XRP investor right now and you don't sell too soon, you will be a legend in the future. I'm telling you, some of the strongest hands in this entire space will be out by the time XRP reaches $100. There's going to be a lot of people gone all the way up to that $100 mark. But here's the crazy part. The price is going to keep climbing even after that. Why? Because adoption is still going to happen. Institutions are still going to flood into this space like we've never seen before. Listen, there are so many institutions sitting on the sidelines right now wanting desperately to get into this space, but they can't. They don't have a choice because of the lack of regulations. They have to have the laws in place first, or they're never jumping in. Those are going to be the companies and the big names that we'll start hearing about once regulations finally get here. Right now, what we're seeing are just the first movers. Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP Morgan, BlackRock. These are the first movers. But soon, you'll start hearing names of regional banks creating crypto treasuries, getting involved with crypto, offering crypto services to their customers. And you're going to be here for all of that, but only if you don't sell too soon. As all of this is happening, the price of XRP is going to reflect that massive growth. We're going to see a big change in XRP's price over the coming months. And here's something that most people don't even realize. You can't even utilize XRP for what it's actually built to do at the price levels we're at right now. It has to be so much higher for the system to work the way it's designed. Think about it. If banks and institutions are going to move trillions of dollars around the world using XRP as the bridge currency, the price has to reflect that utility. This is just the beginning, and we're positioned perfectly for what's coming next.